On Tuesday, I talked about navigating the nowscape, and we talked about how really in the present with mindfulness, everything kind of unfolds here, it unfolds now as we come into the present. And that as we think about it, the time that we have really isn't in the future, it really isn't in the past, it really is currently in the present. And so I want to kind of follow up with that again today. As I mentioned, we'll do a guided meditation, but really starting to, as I was looking at this, studying this, reading through this, thinking about how often, at least for myself, I will find myself in thoughts of the future. Not taking away that planning and doing things to prepare aren't important. That's not what I'm really talking about. What I'm really, those times when we want to just kind of escape, and maybe we're planning for a future, daydreaming about the future, maybe worried about the future, or even holding on to something from the past. All of those things are outside of the present. And so wanting to really focus on this nowscape, allowing myself or yourself to come into this present moment. So when I think of that, I think of a lot of times, and it certainly was said, I think, with addiction and recovery, the phrase "one day at a time." And I know we say that a lot. We've said that in well-being. Let's just one day at a time. We'll focus on today. That's kind of that same concept. It's really how, as humans, that tendency we feel to try to solve everything right now, to get everything done, and it feels very overwhelming. And so this practice of mindfulness is really to bring us back into this one space, this one time, to the present. And if we're really honest, this really is the only place where we have any sense of control. And it's not really about our situation, having control of the situation. It's really in having control about how we're reacting or not reacting, or how we're responding to what is happening. And that's what I feel the beauty in the choice that we're given when we're in the present. So with that, I'm going to have you go bring your attention, if you would, just to your breath right now. Not changing it, not trying to make it do one thing or the other, just noticing it. And we're going to use our breath today as an anchor. Again, bringing us back to the present moment again and again, as our minds wander off into the future, problem solving or fantasizing or worrying. We can find this to be a natural built-in way to be present. And in this presence, it's easier to be compassionate to ourselves and to others. And we do this by really becoming mindful of one breath at a time. So I invite you to take a nice, deep, relaxing, comfortably deep, relaxing breath. And notice within this one breath, there is only the here and now. And as you continue to breathe, just focus on, as the in-breath comes in, how that feels. And on the out-breath, allowing your body to relax. The breath is a gentle, life-giving reminder that conversation or presentation we are dreading or rehearsing isn't really actually happening right now. That all we can really do and know is that we are alive here and now. And we can let go of all of that that is around us or that we're holding on to. This is a place where we are. These are the sounds that we hear. This is the sensation of breathing. Life is much simpler than we believe, but that's so easy to forget when we feel overwhelmed, or we move from being in the present to the past or the future. And again, I invite you to bring your attention to your breath, just noticing how it comes in, where it comes in, how it feels on the in-breath, how it feels on the out-breath. The breath is a great meditation focus because it's portable and it's free. We always have access to it, which makes it a perfect anchor to the now. By bringing our attention to the breath, it's always with us. Wherever we are, it will bring us into the now. And for anyone who's ever struggled to breathe, you know what it feels like to realize when you've taken granted of your breath, of your breathing. The breath allows us to pause, to experience life right now, not as a problem to be solved, but as an experience of our day, of our being. And this is so easy to forget. We speed around on autopilot, believing that if we can just get things right, we won't have to suffer. And yet the truth is that being alive means we will experience pain. There is no escaping it. The frustrations, the joy that's a part of our everyday. But when we embrace this in the now, we know we can manage, we can feel, and we can let go. And we don't want to escape it because it means we would miss out on so much of the beauty of life and of learning. Encourage you to take a few more deep breaths, focusing just on the breath. Being very present in the here and the now. When we move from the present, when we lose sight of the breath and bringing the anchor of the breath to us, even in good days, things can slip by when we're just focused on making things better or different. Today, embracing this remote day or an unplanned or unexpected day that occurred here today with our weather, just embracing it. And in this next breath, if you're feeling any additional anxiety or frustration or uncertainty from today, I encourage you to kind of feel that as you breathe in, knowing that that's your feeling, that's your experience. And on your out breath, just letting that go, letting the universe take that concern and that worry, and knowing that you are where you need to be right here in this moment. Embracing today, the now, with each breath. This breath, And then this one. And the next one. And you can remember again and again how each breath contains multitudes. Each breath reminds us of the richness of life we've been given, the richness of sorrow, of gratitude, and even anger, the richness of being a living, breathing being. And as you're focusing on the breath in this last moment that we have together, I encourage you to think about that right now in this moment, you are everything you need to be. You are your future self. You are your past self, because what you do today creates your past. And what you do today, by tomorrow, you become your future self. But it all takes place in the here and the now. So I invite you to take one more deep, relaxing breath. On the exhale, releasing any last frustration, anxiety, concern, even goodness into the universe, letting it go. And bring yourself back to this room. If you've brought your eyes to a close, maybe open your eyes gently, wiggling your fingers, moving around. And I'd like to end with this quote. Give yourself permission to allow this moment to be exactly as it is, and allow yourself to be exactly as you are. I thank you for joining us today. Be safe, be warm, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.